Direct from the Six, world-renowned, Canada's largest city, with Canada's biggest thinkers, visionaries, and hustlers. This is Startup Talk, featuring the founders, funders, innovators, and community leaders who've led Canada's startup ecosystem right here in Toronto. You'll hear the challenges, the failures, the successes. Toronto's Startup Podcast gives you the full story direct from the entrepreneurs and influencers who've made a difference. Now, the host of Startup Talk, the founder of TorontoStarts, the Startup Coach.
What's your long-term vision for MyPetGo? Do you see the market, and how do you see the market evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
So I guess the long-term kind of plan for us is to try to expand, both sideways and kind of, upwards, in that we don't have to be the best at everything. We need to hone in on what we've started with, which is the longevity program and the health markers and the behavior traits, and be really good at this, and then having these next step recommendations. I think when it comes to, all the other areas, instead of trying to build that as well, maybe partner with the right companies, maybe acquire the right companies, maybe invest into companies, and through the investment, there is a partnership that kind of comes with it too, and sort of roll up companies into what we're doing. I think what we want to allude to is this kind of, ecosystem model where anything that has to do with your pet being and ways to improve lifespan and ways to consolidate all your pet care needs into one place, fully data driven, really sort of ensure that the AI is spot on and it's and we're doing the right things. I think that's what we want to do. Look, I think for us it's a listing to kind of, it's a great way to source capital. I think the markets have been horrible over the last couple of years, but I think with Trump and the new administration, it's going to be a very good time over the next 4 years to look at NASDAQ or the US markets. Actually, I think all markets will benefit globally. And so I think it's a good time to kind of look at that for us in the next, 12 to 24 months. It could happen sooner, who knows? And I think, so a listing, kind of building something greater together with other people and forming this group. I think that's what we want to do. And ultimately, when I look back at it one day, it would be sort of, okay, did I truly help the industry? Did I play a role in helping pet owners and pets? Because we're doing this for the love of pets, right? And did I help the veterinary community, which, has its own challenges? And, if you're not in the industry, you wouldn't know that the suicide rate is actually really high. In some countries, it's like among the highest of any profession. So, and that's stress related, right? And it's really hardcore, right? Like our chief veterinary officer, she goes to practice every now and then, stay abreast with what's happening. And she's like, she was out of it for a long time. And she's saying it's absolutely brutal, right? Like, you're so exhausted, you're so out of everything when you come home. And I think, if we could help both the pet owners, the pets, and the professionals in their separate needs and wants, then I would be very happy, right? And so I think, I used to do something that I felt was less meaningful in my life. I was telling people how to spend their hard-earned money on things they didn't need, very, very shallow, right? It was a lot of events and high society stuff and these sort of different things. And, it served its purpose, yes. But I think, like, if we talk about meaningful things, this is a lot more meaningful and the kind of thing I want to do. So I truly want to help. And it's not just about making money. I mean, I'm a capitalist for sure. But I think there's so much more that goes into what we're doing here. And, we truly want to actually help and make sure that we we can play a pivotal role in the pet care industry.
So this has been great, and I'm sure our listeners want to find out more about you and MyPetGo. Where can they go?
Well, I'm not the most social person. Like, I mean, on the World Wide Web, I should say. If you meet me, I'm happy to have a drink with you. But you can find me on LinkedIn. That's, I guess, the platform that I do use. And I think it's starting to get a little bit too Facebooky with a lot of weird stuff now. But especially with all the Trump and Musk and his salute the other day and everything else, there's a lot of it's getting very opinionated. But I think, to connect with other professionals and to source partnerships and deals and stuff, it is still the place. It's still the mecca for that. And so I'm there. Just search Richard Nilsson, MyPetGo, you'll find me. So you can connect with me if you want to ask me any questions about hardware, what not to do, pitfalls. Happy to help anybody, happy to give back. If you need help with advice on anything else, entrepreneurship, happy to help as well. So you can reach out there. If you want to go to MyPetGo, we don't have the sexiest website at the moment, but mypetgo.com. You can read up there. There is a new one launching soon. That's why I say it's not the sexiest. It's been there a while. It's a little bit outdated, I would say. It's an old application on it. Just launched a new one. But yeah, that's probably the two places. You find me there. And, don't be a stranger. If you want to talk, I'm usually always, I always try to give people time.
It's been great chatting with you. And I'll just kind of end with this kind of thought, because you've talked about, Trump and the politics going on LinkedIn and whatnot. And I always found it funny when companies need to take sides in any political or hot topic in any way, shape, or form. Because unless it's you or directly affects you as a company, why do you need to weigh in on these divisive topics? Because I think it was Michael Jordan who said it best, Republicans buy shoes too. Why would I? It's hard enough to get customers. Why would I alienate such a high percentage of the population by sharing my political views or a company's political views or taking a stand versus one politician or other, or a religion or another? Like, why would you do that? It makes no sense from a business point of view. So keep your that personal information out of your business, because why would you, it's hard enough to get customers. Why would you make it even harder and limit that pool?
Agree. He's a wise man, Michael Jordan. Yeah. Really good businessman, actually. Really good entrepreneur.
Yeah. And it just always strikes me as like, why do this? Like, I understand you don't like this politician or you don't like that politician, but if you bring it into business, you're dividing your customers up and you're doing a disservice to your business. So do your best to not bring that forward. I really appreciate you taking the time today to talk to me, Richard. And I loved learning all about MyPetGo.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
And for those listening, all the links he mentioned will be in the show notes on the podcast. So just click on that and the links will be there. Thanks, everyone.
This has been Startup Talk, Toronto's startup podcast. For more exclusive content, the episode vault, and to be part of TorontoStarts community, visit TorontoStarts.com. Get your name on the newsletter mailing list and check out our upcoming events. For more episodes, subscribe now. And please recognize the time and work behind the scenes put into connecting you with the biggest visionaries, entrepreneurs, and innovators in Toronto by leaving a 5-star review. Join us for more next episode from Toronto's most active entrepreneur and startup community on Startup Talk.